Hello there, and it is Velvet Al watches Baywatch Nights because he's an idiot and decided to stick to something that he was kind of not really thinking through when he decided to do. Yes, we are on episode 12, which puts us, I think, about halfway through the first season. Um, yeah, because there's 22 episodes in the first season. So I look at it that way. I've got half a season down, and that's just a season and a half to go. Can do this. I can do this. I've got this. This is fucking motivational shit here. You know, whenever you are having trouble and thinking, "Oh man, I just can't do this," tell yourself, "But Velvet Al has gotten through half a season of Baywatch Nights. You've got this, man. You've got this." So, we're on episode 12. It's called Thin Blood. So, I'm not sure. Maybe it's about vampires. I hope it's about vampires. All I know, the reason I started watching this is because at some point the show's supposed to go off the deep end with like supernatural shit. And it hasn't happened yet. I mean, there was the psychic in the early episodes who just disappeared. Man, I wish she was back. I liked her. She was a little goofy, but... So, I'm guessing it's either going to be about vampires or donating blood. This could be like some sort of like Red Cross scam going on, and only the Hasselhoff Detective Agency can take care of it. Which will it be? Let me press play and find out. So we start off in New York City, as you know, because it tells us the title on screen, New York City. Because otherwise you wouldn't believe it's New York City. I wouldn't have. I would have thought it's just some shady part of California. Baywatch takes place in California, right? I mean, they're on the beach, so I've just always assumed that it takes place in California, but now that I think about it, I have no fucking clue where Baywatch takes place. It theoretically could take place on the beaches of Montana. Does Montana have beaches? I don't know. Off to the Google machine. Does Montana have beaches? City Beach is one of the most popular beaches in Montana. There you have it. So, theoretically, Baywatch can be taking place in Montana. But it probably is California. So, we've got this couple in a car, and they're up to some shady shit. Because, A, it's New York City. Everyone's up to shady shit there. But B, they're in a dark alleyway. Only shady shit happens in dark alleyways. And they just look like shady people. But the woman, she's like, I'll be waiting right here while you go do your shady shit. And he's got a briefcase, and he goes to meet these other guys who are also doing shady shit. But they're all in suits, so this isn't thug level shady shit. This is like white collar crime level shady shit. And the guy whose wife or woman is like waiting in the car, he pulls out an Uzi, and he's like, "Fuck you, I'm taking the case." That presumably has money, but I'm guessing since they didn't specifically say that there was cash or like a cash amount, I'm guessing the briefcase actually holds something else, like important documents, like maybe the codes for nuclear weapons. Who knows? I was gonna, throw out some other like joke suggestions, and I just completely blanked out on it. But so there's a big gunfight, and the woman comes to try to save her man, but she sees that he's been shot and figures, well, he's pretty much as good as dead. He's still shooting at the other people, but he's on the ground and he's bleeding. So yeah, he's as good as dead. There's no way I'm going to be able to get him into the car and get him to a hospital. Which, I mean, really, you've been doing shady shit, so the hospital might be out of the question anyhow. So she drives off, crashing into several things on the way. While her man, he looks at himself, he's bleeding, but he doesn't look like he's dying. Like, no, like, death grasp or going. No, he just kind of nonchalantly looks down at his shoulder and sees blood. Over at the Hasselhoff Detective Agency, they've got a case. It seems that the wife of a prominent judge thinks that he's been spending a little too much time with, what did she say, the district attorney? Or some lawyer. Which is bad news, because that is a conflict of interest if she ever has to try a case in front of him. But more importantly, the wife, wants to make sure that her husband's not out there fucking around on her. And I don't blame her, so this is all secondhand. She's not actually there. This is just what Angie Harmon tells us the case is about. And Angie Harmon is looking for her keys because she has to go to DMV because she's got an appointment. And if she doesn't go, and misses her appointment, she's just going to be stuck waiting in long lines. The fucking DMV. Even nowadays, with all our electronic access, it is still such a pain in the ass to go. Ugh. I try to avoid the DMV at all costs. At least you can nowadays avoid it somewhat. Like, you can just, renew your registration online and shit like that, and that's cool. Unfortunately, I wear glasses, so I have to, go there when I have to get my license renewed, because I gotta take the fucking eye exam. And it's like, dude, no, just trust me. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. So, but anyhow, Angie Harmon does not wear glasses, but this is the 90s, and so electronic technology has not reached a point where she can just take care of shit online. She has to go. But someone has shown up at the detective agency office. It's the shady woman from earlier who left her man behind, bleeding. Oh no, what could she want? Turns out, she's Angie Harmon's sister. Well, that takes a wrinkle. And I don't know if that would actually be the proper phrase to use. It takes a wrinkle. But yeah. This is going to be interesting. Especially since this means, now she's going to have to catch up with her sister, and Angie Harmon is going to miss her appointment at the DMV. Maybe sis will understand, oh yeah, I probably haven't seen you in forever, because you've been off in New York City doing shady shit, but we can catch up later. I gotta hit the DMV and do some DMV shit first. So Angie Harmon tells her sister, I wish you would have called so we could plan, but, yeah, we could get together, but I gotta go to DMV. Good on you, Angie Harmon. You got priorities. Your sister can wait, the DMV cannot. But she tells her sister, but don't worry, Hasselhoff here, he'll take care of you. And Hasselhoff is just ready to jump on that. Because he smells it. He's like a fucking shark in water, smelling blood. He's and I'm not meaning that in a gross way of, he smells that she's on her period. He just smells pheromones. He just knows, oh yeah, this chick wants to ride the Hasselhoff. And so he's yeah, I'll take care of you. Let's go get something to eat. Because later he's going to eat you. Oh yeah. Are you people sick of that yet? It's become my signature catchphrase. And I've just fucking stolen it from millions of other people who stole it from other people. But weirdly, there's a call for Angie Harmon's sister at the Hasselhoff Detective Agency. How can that be? Who could have her number? So she takes the call, and it's her man. See, I told you he wasn't dead. She didn't bother to, see that. Well, she saw that he was bleeding, but she didn't bother to check to see if he was bleeding to the point where he was going to die or not. She just kind of ran off. And apparently this guy managed to get the number somehow. And just great timing on his part, too, of calling right when she got there. 'Cause remember, he's over back in, like, New York City and whatever. And the fact that they told us it was New York City means Baywatch Nights is not taking place in New York City. It's taking somewhere else, in Montana. That's my new headcanon. Baywatch Nights takes place in Montana. I don't care. You cannot convince me otherwise. No, I think I did see an episode of Baywatch where they did specify it was California. So, yeah. But isn't it much more fun to just pretend that Baywatch takes place in Montana? It does. But great timing on his part to get a hold of her, and she's like, yeah. And he's like, I want the money. So apparently she had the money. So the briefcase that he was trying to get did not have the money. So, my guess, because she had the money. So my guess is he was supposed to give money for something and is trying to fuck over the other people in the deal and wants whatever he was trying to buy, but without actually paying for it. And now he's got neither the money nor the mystery object. And, you know, she sneakily, like, hangs up on him, but continues to talk, pretending, like, that she's talking to her boss or something. But Hasselhoff, he's got a careful eye. He notices that, no, she hung up the phone. That's mysterious, but because Hasselhoff is a poonhound, he takes her out to lunch. So Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon's sister are, you know, chatting it up over lunch and blah, blah, blah. And Angie Harmon's sister doesn't have any clothes with her. Seems kind of weird. She would just go visit New York, visit from New York all the way to California. They specifically do say it's California. I don't care. I am keeping my headcanon that this is actually Montana, and there's a Los Angeles, Montana. That is my headcanon. You cannot take that away from me. But luckily, Donna D'Errico just has lots of clothes laying around that she can borrow. And Andy Harmon's sister has to make a quick call over to this guy who can make her a fake passport. Suspicious. Mysterious. Wait. Yeah, it's not suspicious at all. We, the viewer, know that she's up to shady shit. But it's not like Hasselhoff or Donna D'Errico are overhearing this conversation. So, yeah, it doesn't seem shady to them. And Hasselhoff, he makes a call over to the lifeguards. Because remember, he's got the detective agency, but he is still a lifeguard over on Baywatch Days. So he just gives them the heads up, like there's a bad rift. So keep an eye on people, maybe keep them out of the water. Just keep things very well. Just be careful out there. And then Angie Harmon's sister comes back and she starts sweet-talking him, and, you know, Hasselhoff, he's just on the prowl. He is going to try to bang her. And he talks about how, you know, if you got a bikini, I could take you out on a wave rider. And she's like, oh, well, Donna D'Errico happened to give me a bikini among the clothes that she gave me that no one thinks is weird, that she needs clothes. But, you know, I mean, Hasselhoff probably knows it's weird, but first he's got to get his dick wet, and then he's gonna... Hey, don't look at me like that. Mostly because, you know, this is an audio podcast, so how are you looking at me? But over in New York City, her man, Angie Harmon's sister's man, he's getting beat up by the head thug of... I don't know. I still don't know what happened. Someone's got a briefcase and someone's got the money and, you know, they're gonna kill him. But he's like, oh, no, it wasn't me. It was Angie Harmon's sister. She has it, and she's over in California, and her sister has a detective agency. Her sister does not have a detective agency. Her sister works for a detective agency. It's Hasselhoff's detective agency. Well, no, actually... Technically, it is Angie Harmon's detective agency, and Hasselhoff works for her, but who's the star of the show? Seriously. So, this guy gives up all the information, and the head criminal guy is like, okay, thank you for doing business. And one of the assistant thugs has a gun with a silencer, and as we fade to black, we hear the gunshot. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that this time he is dead. Even though we don't see it, I'm going to go ahead and guess that the thug, he did a pretty good shot and did not miss. Now, Garner is talking to Griff, and you may wonder, who the fuck's Griff? Because I'm wondering who the fuck is Griff. And this isn't a case of just me not paying good attention and missing lots of details on stuff. I may have missed the details, but who the fuck is Griff? He's the other new addition in the opening credits from last week, and we didn't find out last week that there is this new character. So here he is. In the opening credits, he's usually got like a camera, so I guess Griff is the guy that goes and takes picture for them now. Who's Griff? Where did he come from? Is he part of the detective agency? If so, we don't learn about his hiring. He just shows up, just the way that the psychic just disappeared one day. Even though, technically she wasn't part of the detective agency, so they didn't really have to explain to us why she disappeared. She just did. She got Judy Winslow'd. Was it Judy, the one that disappeared? One of the Winslow kids just disappeared, and that's what happened with the psychic. So, but then Angie Harmon, she looks out at the water, and she sees David Hasselhoff and her sister having fun on a wave rider, and Angie Harmon is just kind of like, just something's boiling up in her, like, because she wants to fuck David Hasselhoff. She has probably since like episode 2. And, she hasn't moved in on it. So her sister's moving in on it, and she just can't stand it. And as she's driving her sister home, well, to Angie Harmon's house, because, her sister has no other place to stay. I'm sure Hasselhoff would have allowed her to stay at his place, but no, she's going to stay with Angie Harmon, and even Angie Harmon's sister's like, no, just go ahead and fuck Hasselhoff. You want to. And she gives a lot of excuses why she can't. And then they have a big sister fight, because that's what sisters do. But then it gets resolved, because that's what also sisters do. So they're hanging out at the nightclub, because Hasselhoff doesn't really treat the ladies to, like, a real restaurant. He always takes them to the nightclub that's downstairs from the office. Because I think he gets, like, discounts. Yeah. Wow, my mind just kind of went off the rails there. So start over! I should edit and delete that, but I won't! Because this is an honest podcast. And I give you all of me. Warts and all. So, but yeah, he's there, and the guy that's going to make the fake passport shows up and takes Angie Harmon's sister's photo, because he's going to need a photo to make the passport. And Hasselhoff's just like, that's kind of weird. But she says, like, oh, no, the guy just thought I was Demi Moore. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I could kind of see that. I don't think Hasselhoff believes her, but he wants to, bang her, so he's gonna overlook that. And she plays darts and starts chatting up with some other guy, and, like a shark in the water, he smells someone going in for his meat, and he's not gonna start a fist fight or anything, but you can see in his eyes that he doesn't like this. He wants to beat up this guy, because he wants to fuck Angie Harmon's sister. So he goes outside and sees Angie Harmon, and since he wants to fuck Angie Harmon as well, he, brings her some drinks, and they talk, and the sad origin story of why the sisters are fighting. Angie Harmon's sister got arrested as a kid, and their mother went to bail her out. Unfortunately, on the way there, car crash, and the mother is dead. And that's been the source of the rift since then. But, Hasselhoff is going to try to make things better. Like, your sister may have changed this time. She might be here for the better. She suspiciously pretends to be on phone calls and, gets pictures taken by weird men. But, and also, her not having clothes. How is that not a red flag? Seriously. Like, I just spur of the moment decided to fly, like, across the country and decided, well, I don't need clothes. I'll figure it out when I get there. I mean, there might have been an explanation given that I ignored and missed, but I don't care if there was. There is no fucking good explanation you can give for, like, I hopped on a plane, flew across the country, didn't bring clothes, but don't worry, everything is okay. No, there just is no explanation for that. Meanwhile, the head evil criminal guy, he lands in Los Angeles, California, Montana. Yeah, he lands in Los Angeles, Montana. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with the idea that there's a Los Angeles, Montana. And he may be evil and heartless and ruthless, but he did give money to charity on his way out. And that... he's not all bad, really. Like, some of the so-called good people would walk right past the charity people and not give anything. But this guy, he's evil, but he knows, there's people out there that need my help. This morning, and Angie Harmon's sister has made breakfast. A lot of it. Seems like a lot more than, like, 2 people would eat. Girls, invite me over. I'll eat breakfast with you. Because it actually does look pretty good. Some, like, scrambled eggs there, and sausage, and bacon, and... That's it. I'm gonna hop into my time travel thing, go back to the mid-90s, and find them, and ask if I could stop in for breakfast. Or I guess I could just go and make myself this food that I kind of do want now. Damn you, Baywatch Nights! Damn you for making me hungry. Because when I'm hungry, I can't think of what happens next. The evil head criminal guy, or I think one of his assistant dogs actually, goes and finds the guy that makes the fake passports, and presumably shoots him. We don't even get the sound effect this time of the gunshot. We just see him put a silencer on his gun, and yeah, we're gonna have to just assume that forger guy got killed. And David Hasselhoff is talking to Garner, because he recognizes that guy as being, like, all sorts of illegal shady shit with paperwork. And so he doesn't buy the story of, like, oh, he just randomly thought that Angie Harmon's sister was Demi Moore. No, that just seemed... There's something weird that I can't quite place. But don't worry, Hasselhoff. I'm sure once you fuck her, you'll figure it out. And then Donna D'Errico comes home. Or comes to the club. Or comes to work. Or whatever. She comes to this place in a limo. And she gets out. And she kisses her reflection in the window. Or I don't know if it's meant to be kissing whoever else is in the limo. Because I don't know if it's her limo or she's just getting dropped off because she fucked some guy in a limo. I don't know. I hope she was trying to kiss someone and wasn't just kissing her reflection. Because, like, I can forgive if she was just trying to kiss through the window to her lover. I'm not even going to presume that it was a man. It could have been a woman. It could have been a horse. I don't know many horses that ride limos, but I'm not going to presume things. But if she's kissing herself, then yeah, I can't take you. And Angie Harmon, like, comes up and asks... Oh, because one of the things Angie Harmon and her sister were discussing is whether or not Angie Harmon's boring. So Angie Harmon asked Donna D'Errico, do you think I'm boring? And Donna D'Errico's like, yes. Like, no hesitation, just, yes, you're boring as fuck. Now, Hasselhoff, since he's all, like, suspicious and shit, follows Angie Harmon's sister, who's going to meet the forger guy, and she wants to get the fake passport, but, he's dead. And they just left his dead body there. Sure. Why not? I mean, I don't know how long ago that he got shot, but you kind of have to, like, have that suspenseful reveal, right? Lucky that no one else came to the back in between and saw, like, holy shit, there's a dead body here. And Doug would have to shoot them too, and then the bodies are going to pile up. But luckily, Angie Harmon's sister was the first one to come, and, you know, he's got the gun on her, and like, give me the briefcase, I'm your generic criminal thug. But it's a good thing for Angie Harmon's sister that Hasselhoff was suspicious as fuck, because he's right there, and he gets the drop on him, and knocks the guy down, and Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon's sister run off, and the guy's chasing after them, but then they cut across the basketball court, and because Hasselhoff is in with all the b-ball players, all the ballers on the court, he's like, oh, this guy's following me, slow him down. And so the thug tries to run across the court, and all the ballers are just there like, oh, yo, hold up. We're having a game here. You go around. You go take the long way. You are not going to fuck with our game. Fuck your honky ass. Yeah. I didn't want to mention that they were all black, but I just feel the need to bring up that, yeah, they were large black men, and the criminal thug is a white guy. So I think there was a little bit of racist fear there on his part, of the thug's part. Like, oh, there's all these big black men who are gonna beat me up. Okay, I am gonna stop my chase here and go somewhere safe where the white people are. Not me. I'm not the racist. This fucking criminal thug is. So Angie Harmon's sister comes clean and explains everything. She was a limo driver, and she was so good at it that she got hired by, this skeezy guy to just drive him around and not ask questions. Which she must have asked some questions, because then she knows that she was driving him down to make some sort of deal for some cocaine, or some powder as they call it, because this is mid-90s syndicated TV. I don't think they're allowed to say cocaine. So she just said she said they were just going for some powder. Or who knows? Maybe it was a $100,000 baking soda deal. Or maybe they were just trying to buy some talcum powder. They should have explicitly said it's cocaine, because now I don't know what kind of powder. Some really damn good talcum powder. But, she heard the gunshots and got scared and drove away. But she didn't have the briefcase with the powder. She had the briefcase with the money. Because, which makes me wonder, what? The guy was planning to fuck over the other guys in this deal and take the cocaine for himself without paying. Why did he bring the briefcase of money in the first place? Was it in case things went bad and he just goes, my bad, here's the money, no skin off our nutsacks, right? Let's go on with the deal. Because if she had the briefcase, she didn't get out to get a briefcase. So the briefcase was left in her car. And if your plant, don't you bring a briefcase full of, shredded paper? To at first they make them think, oh, yeah, I got the briefcase, I'm gonna give you the money. Oh, sorry, I fooled you, it wasn't really money, it was dirty socks. So many questions. But she, escaped and decided to, hop on a plane and go across the country. Which, again, why did no one think it was we actually no now it makes sense because she says that the airline lost the briefcase. So I'm guessing her lie was that the airline lost her luggage. That's why she needed new clothes. Okay, I apologize, Angie Harmon's sister. You did come up with a lie that would make sense to make them not question you further. I apologize. I don't know why it never dawned to me of like, oh, you could lie that the airline lost your luggage. People would believe it. It happens all the time. And they lost a briefcase full of cash. That also happens all the time, unfortunately. But that I don't think is so much it was lost as so much as it was, quote unquote lost and stolen. But the head criminal guy, he's got his new plan. Like, okay, if we can't get Angie Harmon's sister, let's get Angie Harmon. And he pulls out a gun and is like, I want you to come with me. And she's like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, please, as he points the gun to her. So at least, he does have some manners. Like, he doesn't need to say please, because the gun in her face is all you need to kind of convince her that she's coming with you. But the please, like, he's not a totally bad guy. He's got manners and donates to charity. So let's accentuate the positives here. So Hasselhoff gets a call from the evil criminal kingpin guy, and he's letting him know that, we've got Angie Harmon, you've got my money, let's make a fair trade. Which, again, at least he's willing to make the trade. He could just kill Angie Harmon and go, yeah, you're next if you don't get me my money, bitch. So, at least, he's got his code of honor. But, Angie Harmon's sisters still say, like, oh, the airline lost it. And Hasselhoff gets mad, like, I don't believe you, you fucking liar. And she's like, okay, I left it at the airport in baggage claim. Which, I guess makes sense, now that I think about it, because she never really called the airline saying, like, hey, you lost this suitcase that's full of a lot of money that's, could really help me get the hell out of this country and do stuff, I don't know. I can't comprehend the idea of a lot of money, so I don't even know what I would do with it. If I got, like, a briefcase full of $100,000, it'd be like, oh, wow, I don't know. I'll go buy some new shoes. Yeah, and I know $100,000 is, like, not even really that much of money. Actually, I don't know how much money was supposed to be in this briefcase. But so Hasselhoff, like, goes down to the airport and gets it, because I don't know, how long do they leave things in baggage claim? Don't they, like, say, yo, pick up your shit now? I don't know. I've never had to put luggage in baggage claim, but they pick it up and they bring it to the office. But unfortunately, Angie Harmon's sister doesn't know the combination to open the briefcase. But Garner, he knows the combination, and by that, he knows how to pick locks. I'm not going to insinuate anything about the fact that the black guy is the one that knows how to pick locks. It's just a coincidence. And inside, not money. It's a phone book. Which, I don't know, do phone books have, like, the same weight as, like, $100,000 in cash? Possibly. This is why you put it all, like, on a preloaded Visa card. It's so much easier to just kind of transfer over. That just, I don't know, the thought of that just made me laugh. Like, just these big criminal guys trading gift cards. That is funny. Someone should do something with that. But, it's like I said, like, why would he have the money if he was planning on fucking them over? But still, why not have the briefcase if you're gonna fuck them over? That's the way you do it. Like, you cut up, like, the pages of the phone book and put them all down, and then you just cover the top with, like, ones. And And then, they open it, they see some money. They're like, okay. And then by the time they find out, like, wait, underneath the money is pages from the yellow books, then you pull out your Uzi and shoot them. This guy's plan was just so horrible. He left the fake briefcase in the car. Yeah, but, now they're having, this issue, okay, because the criminal kingpin guy, he's still got Angie Harmon, and he's expecting his money. And how are they going to get out of this? This is why. Do my plan, Hasselhoff. Covered the top of the briefcase with ones. You probably need, $50 in singles. And by the time he, can count and see that, hey, wait, underneath these dollar bills is a fucking phone book. Well, obviously you're not going to shoot him with an Uzi, because you're like Batman, you don't use guns. But, like Batman, you've got, super judo moves, and you use their judo moves to take him down. Dude, my plan is much better than whatever plan you have, Hasselhoff. So the criminal kingpin gives the instructions. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call. Let's see who's decided to call me. Hello?
Hi, good morning. My name is Juanita. I'm calling today to speak with Mr. Alberto Serta.
Yes?
I'm calling with Easy Care, GWC Customer Care, on behalf of Bastille Resale, Delaware, for the 2017 Chevy Equinox.
Oops. That actually probably wasn't really a complete scam call, but not a call that I want to deal with and talk to. Why don't I? Well, oops, I just accidentally hung up on them. So let the record show that if they have to go through this recording to find out, hey, why did this guy hang up on me? All my listeners can attest, I accidentally hung up. Yeah, I really hope that wasn't, something important that I needed to take care of. Oh, boy. But so the plan is, the criminal kingpin, he details the plans, meet us here at this time, and Angie Harmon's sister is to bring the briefcase, and she has to come alone, or I shoot Angie Harmon. And luckily, while it's specified she has to come alone, he at no point said, oh, also no one can follow you and come in afterwards. And that is where the Hasselhoff Detective Agency plan comes into play, because they're going to follow her and come in afterwards. Which, Garner pulls out some guns and he hands one to Hasselhoff. And Hasselhoff doesn't want it because, he's like Batman. He doesn't want to deal with guns that murdered his parents. Okay, I don't know if Hasselhoff's backstory is that his parents got murdered. But it is now, in my headcanon. His parents were murdered and he secretly trained to become like Batman, except decided I'll do more good with a lifeguard outfit than the bat tights. So, and then Hasselhoff meets with this guy Earl, who hands him a bag, and Earl's like, I don't want to know what the hell you're doing with this. Less I know, the better. So, good for you, Earl. And so Angie Harmon's sister shows up with the briefcase, and they take her to the place where Angie Harmon is. Meanwhile, Hasselhoff and Garner are sneaking in through the back way. And, the criminal kingpin's like, open the briefcase so I can see my money. He's smart. He knows you can't just trust that they gave you the money. But Angie Harmon's sister is like, I don't know the combination. And unfortunately, the criminal kingpin, he doesn't know how to pick locks. So he just takes his gun and shoots the locks off. And he sees, uh-oh, it's a phone book. You're fucking us over. I'm gonna shoot both of you now. But luckily, Hasselhoff and Garner have made it at this point, and they throw grenades at them. Seriously. That seemed like a kind of dangerous little plan there. And then they pull out smoke grenades. I don't know why you couldn't just use the smoke grenades at first. Why did you need, like, the real grenades to explode stuff? The smoke grenade would kind of give you cover and enough of a distraction. Why did you have to blow shit up? Like, you know, what if, like, you threw it wrong and it landed a little too close to the people and kaboom? Or, you know, a piece of wall fell down because of the grenade explosion. Kaboom! But with all the smoke grenades and they don't know, no one can see what's going on. And Hasselhoff still doesn't use a gun because even though he's got it pulled out, he's not going to use the gun, I don't think. But there's this guy on the rooftop and Garner shoots him. And this is just beautiful and fantastic because the guy does a flip off the roof. Granted, I've never been shot, and especially not while on a roof, so I guess I can't say for sure how I would fall if I got shot while on a roof, but I imagine I would probably just, you know, slump over and fall. I probably would not do a front flip. like you fucking jumped and flipped and then fell to the ground. Maybe he thought, if I flip, I can make this landing and not die. And that is why I probably will never become a henchman, because I would never think like that. Like, oh, hey, you know, if I flip, I can maybe survive this. Now, one of the thugs is about to get the jump on Gardner, but David Hasselhoff sees him and he breaks his long-standing no-guns Batman policy and shoots the guy. But he had to do it. He had to save Gardner's life, so it was for the greater good. And so then there's more running and fistfights and just the good guys win. The good guys win. That's all that matters. And, you know, Angie Harmon has a heart-to-heart with her sister, and her sister is like, you know, I have to move back to New York, but maybe one day I'll come for a good reason or something. I don't know. Once there's sappy heart-to-heart talks, I kind of tune out. Like, what? I'm not watching a chick flick. I'm watching Baywatch Nights. I'm not here for heart-to-heart conversations between women. Though, I guess Baywatch Night passes the Bechdel test. So here's two women. They're talking about something other than men. And they're fully formed characters with... What the fuck? Of all the shows to pass the Bechdel test, Baywatch Nights does? Oh my god. That just... and I'm not even going to go really into, like, the flaws of the Bechdel test anyhow, but wow. I would not have, like, thrown Baywatch Nights as being a show to pass the Bechdel test, but it did. It certainly did. So, Angie Harmon's sister, she goes to the airport, but before she gets on her flight, she has to go to one of those lockers where you keep your belongings, and there's a briefcase in there with $1 million. It was $1 million deal, which goes to show you, like, how poor I am, that I was thinking it was a $100,000 deal, and I'm like, wow, that is a fuck ton of money. But no, $100,000, like, it could buy you some powder, but $1 million, like, oh, that's the kind of powder that you're gonna fucking kill over. So, I guess that makes more sense that you would want to start killing people over $1 million as opposed to just $100,000. But then, still back to my questions of this guy's really fucking stupid, idiotic plan to screw over the guy selling him the powder. Because why did he have a briefcase with $1 million to begin with if his plan was to fucking kill the guys with the powder? Unless, I guess, his plan was kill and immediately run out of the country, so I need that $1 million. But, you know, I mean, long term, life would have been easier to not kill them, and then you wouldn't need that $1 million. But if it's your $1 million to begin with, since you're paying to buy the powder, so many questions I still have. But as she's trying to walk away with the $1 million, here's Hasselhoff, that brown Adidas bomber jacket. I love it. You know what? I need to find one. This is gonna be my Halloween costume this year. Although when you listen to this is probably already after Halloween, and I'm not gonna find one in time for Halloween. But for next Halloween, I am gonna find a brown Adidas bomber jacket, and I'm gonna go as David Hasselhoff in Baywatch Nights. And possibly Baywatch Days. I don't know if he ever wears this bomber jacket during the day. Only during the date on nights. Yeah. Baywatch Nights takes a... What? It's so confusing for me to try to explain it, because Baywatch Nights takes place during the day for half the episodes. Really, 3/4 of the episode takes place during the day. So, how do I differentiate Baywatch Nights and Baywatch Days when it all happens during the day? But yeah, Angie Harmon's sister has been caught with the money and is going to jail. Over at the club, Hasselhoff is still feeling guilty about the fact that he shot a guy. But as Garner points out, if Hasselhoff didn't shoot the guy, Garner would be dead. You know, you gotta outweigh the positives to the negatives. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And you might not always believe it, but Hasselhoff proved that it's true. At least in this case. But Hasselhoff is going to have to live with that the rest of his life. Sorry, Hasselhoff. But I'm sure Batman also has these regrets. Because while he doesn't shoot people, there have been times he just lets them fall to their death. And so he may as well have killed them. And Angie Harmon enters in the club, but Don D'Erico wants to apologize. Like, the other day when I said you were boring, I didn't mean that. I meant you were predictable. She really isn't that much better, but, you're getting an apology out of Donna D'Erico. You take what you can get. But to prove she's not boring and predictable, Angie Harmon walks over to Hasselhoff and just full-on kisses him, just makes out with him. I think she even slips him some tongue. And Hasselhoff's just like, whoa, what? So I told you, they're gonna fuck. But not tonight. Because Angie Harmon tells him, like, just because I did that doesn't mean we're dating. Which, you don't need to be dating someone to make out with them. It's okay, it's just... It's out of character for Angie Harmon, but I guess that was the point. Because she's trying to prove that she's not boring and predictable, so she did something that was completely out of character. And Hasselhoff's not going to complain, because, he didn't get to bang Angie Harmon's sister, but Angie Harmon is a step above, so if he gets Angie Harmon, that is better than getting Angie Harmon's sister. It's like mathematics. And so that was another episode of Baywatch Nights. Slowly getting there. I will slowly one day reach the end, and I will probably throw a party. That is, if my brain hasn't become full mush by that point. But you know the deal. velvetal@hotmail.com, or leave a comment in the comment section depending on where you're listening to this. I'm ready to just pass out, and maybe I should call that place back and make sure it wasn't like something important. Nah, I love you guys.